the two candidates are Mr. Massa, who is already known by many of the Bulls, I guess, and the other is like a team, and this is Monich and the Younger. These are two guys, and they apply as one. And yeah, they will, after the news, they will start present a project. I would like to go Mr. Massa first. Yeah. So the news, yeah, I'm excited a little bit because we are launching today. We're launching our new product, which is called Concentrator. We have been talked about this a little bit in the last research call. And basically, Concentrator, what it is it's an auto compounder for convex. And one reason we did this product is because convex or curve has been one of the most mentioned protocol for yield strategies, and also many Boule members presented projects involving convex. And so we did this project, this product, and it's an auto compounder for convex. So how it works, so if you have a liquidity token from curve, you don't normally, you just submit it to, you make a transaction on convex itself, and then you get convex and curve and fees on the convex dashboard. But what we are doing now, this is like an auto compounder. You don't submit the convex to your liquidity token to convex. You submit it to the concentrator, and then the concentrator is it's selling the yield for you, and it's buying more convex curve token basically. So yeah, check it out. We also made like so you will find it on the concentrator.aldin.club. And we also made like a Twitter account specially for this one. It's called Concentrator. Yeah, maybe somebody can post these links in the chat here on Zoom. And yeah, this is like, it already has 10 million TVL. So it's like we kickstarted like 2 days ago. Yeah, it's open, but now today we are going to launch it officially. So this is about this one. So it would be helpful if you retweet our tweet or information about this. Then the second thing as a news is that we are having another Aladdin talk session, and it will be on Twitter Space in 3 hours. We start around in 3 hours around the clock, and we have invited 2 people. One is Alanara. He's quite a known figure in the convex curve space because he made this Llama Air Force dashboard, and it's a data dashboard about bribery and stuff. And he also has like a product with a little bit similar like convex, but it's more about compounding the bribes. And then we will have DeFi Dividend, who is another guy who made like a data dashboard about the curve for us. And on his dashboard, you see which protocol is buying which amount of convex token. So looking forward for this one. This is hosted by me and DeFi Data on Twitter Space. Yeah, on Twitter Space. Please join if you're interested in this. We will chat about stuff convex and how bribing works and so on. So for the Boule members, now we are closed this intermediate season. This also means that we have been finishing this. And so we will have a vote about all the strategies who have been presented during the intermediate season. And some people reached in like written strategies. So we have been working in the background to collect all the strategies, and we will have a vote soon about this. And yeah, you have to vote, and if you vote yes for a strategy, you have to back it up with 100k, 10k ALD. And if a strategy you present is voted in, you get a reward, you get 100k ALD as a reward. So the Boule who has presented the strategy. Then we also will, because now we have finished the intermediate season, we will make a second payout for the sign-up bonus for the Boule members. So maybe you remember we did give you a sign-up bonus, but we didn't pay all of it. So we will pay out to every Boule member who presents a strategy. We will pay out the second part of the sign-up bonus. Then so we will have another, next week we'll have another candidate presenting in the research call. We have another candidate presenting himself. That's what we're going in the next research call. And then we will also pay, we had another like voting about the Boule member who helped the Aladdin DAO the most. And we had already paid out this convex. We have 3 winners again, and we will have a next vote about this. So check out the snapshot. Yeah. So this has been the news. So now we go into the presentation, and yeah, ask Mr. Masa to start this presentation. Yeah, you're welcome. Stage is yours, Mr. Masa.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, Martin. I'm also quite, truly appreciate this opportunity. Also quite exciting with this opportunity too. So let me share my, the investment strategy, especially in the bear trend. So, this strategy is exactly what I'm running right now on my angel fund. So I purely, and honestly share my strategy right now to you guys. So currently I'm going to take in mainly 2 major strategy. So the Lux staking plus alpha, also the USD staking. Then currently I'm going to take, for the first strategy, I'm going to take the 60% allocations on my, total cash. And also second one, I allocate to 40%. Then firstly, let's start from blue one here. So the Lux staking. Then this is a kind of, combination with the 3, kind of staking solutions. Then actually, I'm going to also use an Aladdin DAO concentrator. Recently, I got information from the Charlene, and I'm quite excited with this new product. And I also find out, I can use this product for my, DeFi strategies too. So the Lux staking plus little staking, and then also plus Aladdin DAO concentrator. That's my combinations. Then the behind all this, the first slot is actually this one, deflation assets. So currently, actually, I'm seriously targeting on to accumulate the deflation assets, in a cryptocurrency market as much as it could. The reason is, thinking about, FRB monetary tightening policy, also, bearish stock market there. I think, the one of the competitive edge for the cryptocurrency market is, deflation assets. The reason is all the time we are competing with, traditional financial market, like the stock and bonds or any kind of mutual funds or hedge fund, then usually, stock and bond market cannot, make any kind of deflation asset business there. But, cryptocurrency, actually, we can do it. Then one of the, most difficult, the product is, ETH, because, Ethereum is already implemented, EIP 1559, which has a deflation economy effects. Then this data from DeFi digital market analysis, and then clearly we can understand that, EIP 1559, deflation economy effects here is, practically functioning right now. It's quite a powerful deflation economy on Ethereum right now. So I'm seriously focused on to accumulate Ethereum as much as I could. That's what I'm thinking right now. Then look at, entire DeFi opportunity watching space. Currently, I find that, this solution like Lux staking will be the best one. So currently, once you're gonna buy, Lux tokens, and you're gonna stake this, Lux token on a Lux Layer NFT marketplace here, you can receive this APR. So the total number is, 189.76%. Then you can receive the 2 tokens from here. First one is, Lux. The APR is 74.57, and the WEs 115.19%. Then people is actually, how the Lux make this, WEs token for the, API model on the staking solutions is actually they're gonna share, all their transaction fee on the NFT marketplace to the older, Lux staker. So 100% revenue share model. So OpenSea never take this approach, but actually practically impossible for them. But the Lux can do it because of their DAO model here. So it's pretty powerful, the DeFi solutions on the current, entire blockchain space right now. That's what I'm thinking about. Then, but key point is that we have to worry about, actually this, APR kind of source itself coming from the trading volume on the Lux layer. So first things we have to check out, the trading volume level or, the trend on the Lux layer right now. Then currently I'm going to gradually see the kind of bottom formations on this trading volume here. This data from the analytics and trading volume between Lux layer and also OpenSea. Then, both players gradually forming the bottom under 100 millions. So currently looks like a gradually forming a bottom here. So I still, expect that there's some kind of wave move here. Let's say next 1 or 2 months or so, but I think cross forming the bottom right now. That's what I'm thinking about. That's why, this APY itself is not so seriously going down from here. Okay, the next one is, looks price. Also, I think it's kind of forming bottom. So, because the Bollinger Band based one, gradually forming the converging trend here. And also we might see a little more further price correction from here because of the BTC market crash. But the price crash level on the roots layer is a little bit limited one because of this, bottom formation of the trading bottom. Also this, higher, APR on the, staking solutions. Then one of my reference for me, thinking about, price move on the rooks is actually, Sushi USDT. It's going to be a little close one because, rooks are also, incubating their business from the, vampire attack, against, OpenSea, and Sushi also made the same things, Uniswap, as we know. Then, but right after this, gradually they're recovering, their, momentum as a, the one of the most scalable, DEX player. Then, they gotta make this bullish trend here. So I think it'll probably think about the market momentum at NFT. The looks that are also following up, these price move from the price technical analysis based one. So, downside risk of the rooks also, I assume that a little bit lower, on the current market conditions. Then once we're gonna, complete this stake one, next step is this one. So we're gonna claim WEs reverse on a monthly basis or something on a rooks layer, then swap this, WEs to Es, then stake this Es to Little Finance and then we're gonna get, SDEs, as we know. Then we can receive additionally 4.5%. Then we're gonna deposit this, SDEs on Ardenda concept layer, and we can receive, 7.98%, which is actually a pretty good number here because, especially compared with the direct, the staking, direct joining the LP pool between, SDEs on an ES pair on a Car Finance. So this is also pretty attractive for me too. So in the summary, this is the total return targets. So we're gonna gain, looks token plus 74.57% APY. Then about ES, so total is actually 129.97% because, this is, this stats from the looks layer. Also, we're gonna additionally get it from, Little Finance, also Ardenda concept layer. So the current, some stats of this API target will be 204.54%. Then here's, a couple of things we have to as a note, we have to think about it. So first of all, this API is a variable. So especially, WEs reward will be decreased as more investors join Looks staking in the case of no change on the NFT marketplace trading volume on a Looks layer. Then second was this one, this strategy on the Looks price volatility risk against underlying assets. The third, there also is a hacking risk all the time, does exist in these solutions. So this is my first strategy. And the second strategy is quite simple, USD staking on Anchor. Then currently we can receive 19.46%. Then point is actually, why I like this one is because, this number itself is pretty stable one. Then just, those people who don't know about, Anchor protocol, for your reference, let me explain about the background of the, business model here. So first of all, Anchor is like, Aave or MakerDAO on a Lunar. So that is why those borrower on this protocol, for example, like they want to borrow like 2 million USD worth, they have to collateralize same worth of the B Lunar as a collateral. Then, the borrower can borrow, 1 million USD. So the over collateral ratio is going to set on 200%. Then how the, the Anchor protocol make money for the lender side is actually, I like this model here because it's kind of similar to, Wiki staking solutions. So the Anchor, since they're going to receive, 2 million USD worth of B Lunar as a collateral, so they're going to stake this, 2 million USD, 2 million USD worth B Lunar on the Lunar DPoS model. Then, this DPoS reward is 12% APY. So on the lender side, is actually they are only lend the 1 million USD, but collateral is going to set for this contract is 2 million USD worth be lunar. That is why actually they can gain 24% APY for this lending contract. That is why even the anchor they're going to take the 4% in the transaction fee or something, we still can receive 20%. Then since there is no leverage contract or something behind this model here, and usually validated solutions, it's one of the most better way to make money on the blockchain space. So I think it's pretty much lower hacking risk here. So I think I like this solution here. So these are my two main strategy currently I'm running on my angel fund. So if you have any questions, please let me know. That's it. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, that's quite taken stuff, I guess, somehow I have the feeling. Thank you very much. I know maybe there are some questions I think there are two very different strategies somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah. But do Lux, does it still give out, they somehow had like a wash trading system to give out the token. Is it still like this that you earn like Lux if you trade? It's still the case.
Yeah, still they provide it's kind of special bonus for those user. They're gonna switching from OpenSea to Lux layer, but that incentive itself is drastically going down. Actually, over 50% cut. Then because of this, actually, the trend volume of the Lux layer is seriously going down.
Okay.
So this volume itself is more like almost zero level of these trend wash trading demands on the Lux layer marketplace. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never used this. I used OpenSea like a week ago, the first time. So I'm not very into, I don't know them very well. So it is hard to judge for me if there's any chance to take over, OpenSea somehow. Yeah, maybe I open up to everyone if there are any questions about these two strategies.
So you can check out the latest trading volume looks here on a Luna Analytics. Give me a second. I can share to you.
But I think it's a very interesting that you compare like sushi to Luxra, and in a way it's comparable. I agree somehow, because they're both attacking like the leader, or try to take over the leader with the token basically at the end.
Yeah, since I'm completely sure that OpenSea is going to the IPO. So
you guess so?
It's kind of inevitable that somebody have to build a decentralized NFT marketplace, and then LuxLayer is a fast mover in that space.
Yeah, there are many different NFT platforms out there. Luxra is only one of the competitors basically to OpenSea. I don't know the others, but it's just it's a space who is everyone wants to succeed basically, and I also know there's like an aggregator layer, people doing like meta platforms where you aggregate data from other NFT token things. Yeah, maybe I think because the other you are known to the Boule members because you have presented yourself as a person before, but maybe you can shortly like make a reintroduction also, because we have the other guys on the call, and they will, I guess, talk a little bit about their background. And yeah, you did a forum entry, so if somebody wants to have a written form, you can also check out the forum entry in the Aladdin DAO forum. But maybe you can add a few words about yourself again, even if you did, you already did, but.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm happy to do so. Yeah, so my name is Mr. Masa. Then I'm gonna get involved into the crypto space since 2014. Then firstly, I founded the blockchain, the Bruce tech startups like Ethereum software. And I'm gonna raise like a 5.5 million USD from the 6 venture capital, and I'm gonna grow up my team up to 30 member, and I'm gonna sell this company to SBA Holdings, one of the major investors for the Ripple or the R3 coder, to the in 2018. Then since then, actually, by using this exist money, I'm gonna start crypto asset investment. Then also, since I want to help, most of the tech startups in the blockchain space more effective way, so that is why I'm studying my YouTube channel. So there, I'm gonna talk to crypto asset project, then take the kind of squaring mode here. Then also I'm gonna use my channel to make a kind of a interview for early stage tech startups to effectively appeal their project to their broader audience, mainly about the crypto asset investor. Because I cannot find out this kind of the media on the current crypto industry at this moment. So that's what I'm trying to build my kind of compete with other like angel investor in the crypto space. That's kind of working on right now. Then about the DeFi strategy stuff or DeFi investment stuff, I'm kind of learning process to implement to build my kind of a best practice on my traction here. But I think through the community member on my network, also mainly about already now Boule member here, I learned a lot because currently one of my specialty for the investment is much more early stage investment. Then kind of my traction level last 3 years or so on the early stage investment is 550% total investment return. So that's my tractions. Then I'm kind of quite enthusiastic to join the already now as a Boule member to have to realize the decentralized blockchain hustler. So thank you so much. I'm quite happy to join your team as a Boule member. It's going to be so exciting one. I told you so. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Masa also helped us a little bit to spread the word at the start because he did like interview of some of on the Boule members. You did interview like how many Boule members did you interview? You had
I think around 8 or 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I've been in one of these calls.
Yeah.
I joined.
That was so fun. Yeah.
So welcome. So I don't know if there are questions about the strategies or to the person. So if anyone wants to add some questions or do it now, because otherwise we will switch to the other candidates.
Great presentation and just really interested to see what happens with LooksRare next. I also have been following it from a distance, and it's I was really impressed by how they came out of the gate. They clearly had some momentum slowdown, I think, as some of the inflationary rewards were not running out, but like more depleted. And then there was also some sort of PR blowback. Just clearly the fact the team made an enviable amount of money. It seemed to sort of anger some of the community there. But as far as I know, I mean, having looked at it, there wasn't any like truly like wrongdoing, like committing like a criminal act or, what I would define as, what everyone defines as like a rug pull. I think it's just, everyone wants to see founders that are, I want to say they're strong leaders, but they're still humble and you can verify that they're not selling their own token. These guys made a lot of money actually in the ETH that traded. And so anyways, I kind of reserved my judgment then, like, cause I'm not going to blame them for being hugely successful out of the gate. I wanted to see how the community reacts. And I think you are right to point out that the volume kind of looks like it's bottoming out, like a rounded bottom, like it could pop back up. So it's going to be really crucial that they that LooksRare increases that volume. Otherwise, I am somewhat worried for them or any competitor of OpenSea, just because OpenSea has dominated as a brand. And when you think about trading NFTs, literally like people in the mainstream now are on board with it. So anyways, the numbers are impressive. The yield numbers have remained high. I've noticed the same. And so yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. It's definitely one that I could see us a year from now saying, wow, like who would have thought that like Looks Rare would be such a fierce competitor. I also could, you know, I think I have some PTSD from seeing where Sushi Swap has gone, and thinking about how, despite all the good work they did, they've struggled to really overtake Uniswap's hold on the market. So anyways, yeah, thank you so much. Great presentation. Just really interested to keep an eye on Looks Rare.
Yeah, thank you for this addition. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm not the bullish person on non-fungible tokens, so it's hard for me to have any decent I don't know, opinion on this basically.
This is an
Guys,
example too. That Looks Rare, that Looks token is another example of, in a bull run, if you're holding any token and the whole market's going up and you can earn more of that token, if you're already long that token, to me, it always makes sense. But the question is, are you already long that token? Because obviously, like, you could be holding a token that, like, for looks, it was up at $4 and $5 and it's dropped so much. So I'm happy for those that are earning yield and are, obviously looking to build like a longer lasting project there. But I always worry about, trading out of something like Ether into a token like Looks. And this goes for every token, every DeFi, altcoin, everything in the market right now. It's been a hard last 12 months, unless you are an alternative L1. Like obviously Luna's had an incredible year. Phantom, despite the drawdown, has had an incredible year. All these alternative L1s, AVAX, these tokens are up so much from a year ago. So yeah, that to me is the challenge. Like, is Looks undervalued at 1 billion, fully diluted? And I mean, if they're successful, if they can continue to build, it probably is. But I don't know. It's hard to. I'm like clearly very conflicted on it. Yeah.
It's just that you need, if you look at innovation or how because OpenSea has a strong first mover advantage. It's just, if you go back to Sushi, then what we did see there, that they have been able to pull in the community, and they have had a strong first year basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
At some point, I had the feeling they will take it over Uniswap, because they have had the whole community behind them. But then, it failed, I guess, more because of team or social reasons, or
Well, what I would welcome is, it would help a lot if Mr. Massa or anyone else, including myself, had the ability to interview the team. I mean, I just know nothing about their team, and I've been, for a while, of course, I was fearful that could, that not knowing who the team is, like in the case of Sushi Swap, obviously 0x Maki turned out to be a great player, like someone who had good intentions of building a long lasting product. But with Looks Rare, I'm pretty certain within probably about 30 minutes, I can probably discern whether or not this is a team that can continue to build. I mean, the market has changed. We're beyond the everything goes up. All numbers are going up anymore. I think you really need hyper focused founders who are super hungry and incentivized. probably the biggest thing that holds back Looks Rare is they all became phenomenally wealthy. And
Yeah.
my question is, are they
These
still
are
in
the
town?
rumors, you know. Yeah. No rumors. It's
Exactly.
fact. It's a fact. Sorry, it's a fact. No rumors.
Yeah,
Fact.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and again, we're not. No one is that's not something to hold against someone. You know, like I'm thrilled for teams that can go out and launch valuable code that provides a utility the market wants. We all wanted a competitor to OpenSea, so
Yeah.
you know, again, I'm hopeful that they can continue to do great work, but you know, I want to. I want to hear from the founders, like what's driving you to continue to build this, you know, because you definitely don't have the same chip on your shoulder you did before you claimed $10 million of Ether. So, but anyways, that's why I was so, Mr. Masa, great presentation. I was super excited to I feel like I haven't paid as much attention lately, and there, I was looking at the price and just kind of noticed like looks like it's bottoming out, and that might be they might have a loyal enough foundation there of token holders. The key though next is, in order for their model to work, is they do need to continue to grow volume, and I do think they killed some of their own momentum. I'm not sure what else they were supposed to do, if they weren't supposed to claim the Ether, or if they were supposed to use it to buy back their own token, or what. It's a very difficult position to be in, very enviable position to have been in. But yeah, that you could see a real sentiment in the community shift, and then that's when the price started moving to from higher highs to lower lows. So, all right, I have talked way too much about this.
Yeah, thank you for adding this, and thank you, Mr. Masa, for the presentation.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Masa, for presenting our strategy around concentrator as well. That's a product we're going to launch later today. And should we take this as a chance to, just to take some questions around concentrator? Because I did send, the product demo to a number of the Boule members. We got some really positive feedback. And just wonder if any further questions around this, and this is a good opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, I would like to have some questions, but we also need at least 20 minutes for the other candidates. So yeah, how should we do it?
And if no question around it, that will be perfect.
Maybe we can do it at the end, or
Okay, cool.
I can share my screen and then we can have a short look.
Just one question. Is that okay? Yeah. So, on my understanding, the Argindale concentrator focus on accumulating, ACRV tokens. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Then, but at the same time, in my understanding, also we're going to focus on some kind of convex war.
Yeah.
To take DAO initiative. Then I want to understand about how this one is related to each other in a detailed way. Why we can take the DAO initiative on a convex finance by accumulating ACRV tokens.
Yeah. So basically, ACRV token just that's just represent the compounding of CBX CRV in the concentrator world. And so basically, people are accumulating and to get, their yields compounded in CBX CRV. And CBX CRV basically is just CRV, right? And CRV just move in very high correlation with CBX. So, in a way, right? And people, they can get their yields compounded, in either of these assets. Right, and then they withdraw their yields from the platform, right? And they have a selection of, take their yields in CBX, CRV, CBX, or even ETH, right? So basically, people can get their yields accumulated in the assets they want.
I see. Got it. No, finally makes sense for me perfectly. I think it's great. It's a great product. Yeah.
Yeah, it already has 10 million TVL, so market is appreciating this. Yeah, I would like to switch to the other candidates. Sorry to interrupt,
Right.
because otherwise we can't finish them, and I think it's out of fairness. They also deserve to have some time to present their stuff. And I will make a demo of Convex at the end. So if you stay a little bit longer, we can discuss further this product. Okay, so now we have like two. This is like a team of two, and it's called Vonneich and the Younger. And I've been also, they did also one time. I talked to them because they have been interested how Aladdin DAO is working. So it's like maybe a little bit similar than you, Mr. Massa. You did it in the open, but yeah, I had been in contact since then. I've been in contact to them, and give the stage to these two, or I don't know how you handle it if you present it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Thank you, Martin. I'm gonna share my my screen. Can
And
you all...
to add, I said just present a project you think it's interesting. So that's what they do right now. So I don't know if you have a dedicated farming strategy or not. Go ahead.
Yeah. So so our presentation, just very quickly. Most of you don't know us, so we will quickly go through just our background, our focus, and a little bit kind of like what we've done so far in the crypto space and generally in the investing space, and we'll then move on to quickly present to you Centrifuge, which is a project that we think has a lot of is very interesting, and we'll go through a few strategies, and we'll also mention one which we think is interesting to Aladdin. So very quickly. So I'm the Younger. Again, my partner here is Voynich. We're a 2-person team focused on the expansion of capital markets into DeFi. Our backgrounds are in TradFi and VC, and for the last 1 year we've been very focused on DeFi. We would be super excited to join Aladdin DAO as a Boule member. We as I mentioned to Charlene earlier, we were the ones that wrote a fairly extensive article around Aladdin and the ALD token and the new tokenomics, and have obviously also purchased ALD tokens and staked them, and are overall quite excited about the project, and would love to add value. It would be good to go through maybe our origin story very quickly. So I will hand over to Voynich to quickly go through that. Here are the slides.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Pleasure meeting you also. It's a very high level, right? We met 2015. We clicked immediately, have the same thoughts on life and investing, and essentially since then we've been working pretty much together on the side. We both went into the traditional finance world. I joined a VC. Augustus joined another traditional finance company, and we've been working side by side as a hustle, essentially. So since 2020, we've been focused a lot on the investing side. We've done a few things in the crypto space, and we've done also a few things on private companies where we invested between seed and Series C, and we also invested in a business angel fund. Essentially, that led us to launch Voynich as a brand in order to build not only community but also share experiences and put our thoughts out there, right? Get challenged, learning, even though it's sometimes uncomfortable at times. But for us, it's more about learning as much as possible. And now the plan is, I've quit my job, and now we are going full-time crypto, and we're working to build a small micro fund in the upcoming months and quarters. So perhaps let's talk a little bit about our background, and then I'll just start first. So I'm working in one of the largest and most successful European venture capital funds. So for all who don't know what venture capital is, we essentially take an activist minority stake in very, very fast growing companies. And we work with the founders side by side in order to grow with them and in order to grow the business. And what I've been doing in the past 3.5 years is investing in Series
A to Series C companies. So essentially rather early to very late. So what it is I'm essentially doing on a day-to-day basis, I'm really networking quite a lot. So I'm in touch with 100 VCs and investors all across the world, across different stages, across different verticals. And one of the other things I'm doing is analyzing. So I've looked at probably 3,000 companies in the past 2-3 years, which is a very, very fortunate position to see a lot of things that work and a lot of things that don't work. And we've also made 10 investments. 5 of those investments ended up being unicorns. And I was also very, very fortunate to be a board observer in 2 of the largest European insurtech companies. One of them is unicorn and the fastest growing insurtech in Europe called VFox. So, given I have a sleeping problem, of course, there are a few side hustles as well. I'm an LP in a couple of funds. So I'm an LP in a community-based angel fund, which is actually very similar to Aladdin, focused really on community and how community is driving investment decisions and how community adds value. And apart from that, I've also invested in a couple of startups all around the world. And yeah, as mentioned, next step, full-time in crypto, actually already quit the job. So starting full-time crypto in May this year.
Okay, very quickly about me. So I have a little bit of a different background. I'm gonna go quickly because I don't think we have so much time. TradFi background, more of a, let's say, finance background, very experienced on the derivatives and on the debt side of things, and, risk management, trading, etc. And I have been doing this for the last couple of years at a big trading and investing firm. On the side, I've also done quite a few investments into various startups that are also in the crypto space. One of them was a crypto custodian, and then obviously spearheaded, let's say, on within this project that we have the DeFi and yield farming and delta neutral strategies, and have been quite active there, and also have been discussing this quite a bit with Martin. I don't think I need to say much more about me. I mean, the other things are pretty similar to Voynich. So we're quickly going to talk about kind of like a couple of what we've done in the crypto space and the successes that we had and the learnings.
Yes, I think the key thing for us was really to prove that we're able to invest in many different asset classes and build a network across angels and operators, right? So what we've done primarily is we've invested in private, very competitive deals in startups. Those deals essentially came from our VC and startup network. We've done investments in the NFT and the DeFi space. And I believe, we're on a good path, and we've proven that we are able to invest in a couple of different asset classes. So on the NFT side, we invested in a few NFTs. So we saw very early product market fit and strong community engagement. 3 of those projects essentially became blue chip projects. And, we sold some of them along the way with pretty decent returns. On the startup side, we invested in 2 companies in the crypto space. One is a crypto payment provider. I can't really name the company as of now because they're raising at the moment a new round, which would probably give us a 2x upside in the last 6 months. But essentially, very strong team, very strong product, and very, very strong client base with clients we all know. But unfortunately, can't really comment on business insights there. And then the second company we invested, very competitive deal again. It's one of the largest crypto custodian companies globally. Very strong team as well. The product has been, very renowned for being the best in the market, and again, a strong client base as well. We see those companies as really a 5 to 10x outcome. Then on Centrifuge, we talk about this later, but basically very high level. We came in very early. were one of the contributors at the very beginning, and their protocol is developed very nicely in the past months and quarters. And then, for example, we also invested in YGG. Not sure how many of you guys are familiar with YGG, but it's essentially the financing DAO for play-to-earn models. Invested before the VC announcement, partially exited a big portion of our stake. Probably should have sold everything at the peak, but we still hold a bit of the tokens.
Okay, let's go into. We only have 10 minutes left, so let me speed this up a little bit and talk about Centrifuge very quickly. So first of all, I mean, we always try to think in terms of themes and what are the themes that will become exciting in the future or in the near future. We think real world lending and real world assets in crypto and Web3 will become, quite big. I mean, has existed for some time, but was always something very niche. We now see very big investors talking about this, and we think there are hints, at least, when you listen to podcasts and so on. Most notably, the Block Tower, one of the CEO of Block Tower was on one of the big crypto podcasts a couple of weeks back and mentioned specifically also real world assets. We think there is something brewing up there. Certainly something that could create a lot of hype, and certainly something that provides a lot of value to the real world and also to DeFi overall. So very quickly, within the real world asset space, we think the securitization space is extremely exciting just because of how inefficient it is done in TradFi today, and also how big it is and how big the real world impact could be. So very quickly, securitizations. What is it? It's basically, the backbone of our financial system, or one of the backbones. It's the practice of taking assets, could be say a corporate loan, and turning that into a marketable security, turning it into something that just sits, let's say, on the balance sheet of a bank, to something that can actually be traded in the market, that can be something that is liquid, something that gets maybe customized with various maturities, with various for various risk appetites and so on. Again, why do I say it's the backbone of our financial system? If you think about banks or other lenders, they are they have limited capital. If a bank simply puts out loans all the time, at some point they will run out of capital. They will become too big. Banks need to find basically need to find the other side of the trades that they're doing. They're basically lending money, say, against real estate, and then loan mortgages, and then they need to sell these to investors at some point. Now, securitization, again, it's this practice of bringing these illiquid loans into the financial markets, and then that is being bought by various people that want to buy them, principally big financial institutions that don't have the same origination channels. So it's absolutely crucial that the securitization markets work. However, they don't really work. They only work for certain parts of the economy and not for others. Securitization today is extremely complex, extremely labor intensive, and very, very, very costly. If you want to do a securitization today as a bank, you need 7 different intermediaries, or slightly more. You need, if you want to buy or sell or do a securitization, you need big back offices, big middle offices, etc. Why is that a problem? Well, it is mainly a problem because, again, securitization is here to bring liquidity to the economy. It is to bring liquidity to borrowers. And the securitization market today is not set up to bring liquidity, to bring capital into specific sectors. Specifically, the one that Centrifuge is targeting with their technology essentially being blockchain based and allowing for basically anybody to come to their protocol and securitize any asset by tokenizing the asset, say an invoice or a loan, and then selling it as a tokenized asset on the blockchain and finding liquidity within DeFi. The most exciting use case for Centrifuge today is really providing securitization to the smaller fintechs and to the small and medium-sized enterprises, which is a multi-trillion dollar opportunity. Today, small and medium-sized enterprises or small fintechs that focus on these types of assets, either they cannot get money at all, or they get money at absolutely crazy rates, which from which then they can't grow. Centrifuge allows these market actors to securitize their assets, say the loans they put out to SMEs, and then sell that and then find liquidity for these assets on DeFi. Again, this is a multi-trillion dollar opportunity, and maybe just to think 2-3 steps ahead. The small and medium-sized enterprise sector today has a funding gap of several trillions, simply because we can't find liquidity for these types of assets. They're not bad assets. The default rate of small and medium-sized enterprises for loans is only maybe 1 or 2% higher than for big companies. But the cost of lending today is 10 times higher. It's like 10% higher or 15% higher. So there is no reason why it should be so much higher. And I think that will create amazing effects for the global economy. Why Centrifuge? So our investment rationale on Centrifuge very quickly. Why is Centrifuge so interesting? So first of all, let's look at the team. I mean, the team it's a killer team that has this mission of bringing funds that come from DeFi and using blockchain technology to facilitate lending to small and medium-sized enterprises, and thereby grow prosperity around the world. That's their mission, more or less, as we understand it. They have an absolutely amazing background. Many of them have been co-founders at Taulia, which is a big fintech in San Francisco. When they left a couple of years ago, Taulia was doing $20 billion of facilitating $20 billion of invoice financing each year. So pretty impressive there. Now, again, how the team has executed some of this stuff is absolutely amazing. This is a very, very complex market, a very complex product, and they've managed to excite many people about this. They've managed to onboard many asset originators that basically go to their platform to find liquidity for their assets. Two notable examples are Pipe, which is a fintech unicorn. It's worth over $2 billion. They use Centrifuge technology to find liquidity for the loans that they do. Same with Branch. Branch is a very big startup, A16Z funded, and also uses Centrifuge for a way to find liquidity for their credit assets. Then their partners. Centrifuge has managed to pull off 2 amazing partnerships. One of them is with MakerDAO. MakerDAO, for me, it's one of the, it's an amazing protocol. MakerDAO has committed to a over $40 million credit line where real-world assets, tokenized real-world assets, can be used as collateral to mint DAI on Maker. Maker, I think when we last spoke to the team there, they said they want to build this up to 300 million, mainly using Centrifuge because the technology is so good, and the costs of integrating for the first time are pretty high, so they don't want to do it again. The second one is Aave. So the co-founder of Aave, Stani, is very excited about real-world assets in DeFi. And Aave team and Centrifuge team have worked together to create a marketplace similar to the Aave marketplace that we know today, but not for real-world assets. So real-world assets that are being brought onto chain by Centrifuge are now being used as collateral in the Aave real-world asset marketplace. So extremely impressive stuff. Lastly, their growth has been pretty good. They launched their dApp called Tin Lake around a year ago. They now have $70 million of TVL. They have done over 100 million, or I think more already, of total issuances. They have a pipeline of a couple of 100 million of new assets that are coming on. They have an amazing ecosystem of contributors, and you know, again, you know, we see the growth very quickly. So what are the things that you can do on Centrifuge? For us, you know, for Aladdin, we think the most interesting one is to purchase their governance token, CFG, which today trades at all-time lows. It's even lower than the public sale at the time. I mean, they did some kind of ICO in spring. One of them was a public sale around 50 cents or slightly more. One of them was a whitelisted sale that we also took part in, which was at 38 cents. So we're basically, you know, we're back to where they issued the token a little less than a year ago. Although the project has had so much progress, has an amazing team, and has gotten a lot of traction. We think the reason why the token price is so low is, you know, number one, okay, we are in a tough market, but number two, it's a very complex product. We don't necessarily think that most, you know, DeFi folks understand the product yet, but it will be, you know, even, you know, today Centrifuge has $100 million market cap roughly. The team that they have assembled, the technology that they have, the partnerships that they have with Aave and Maker, the whole ecosystem of originators and of their clients, you know, that are very, very big fintechs, you know, and the market opportunity, which is, again, trillions of dollars. They're literally solving a funding problem for small and medium-sized enterprises where there hasn't been any funding so far, although these assets are not at all bad. So it could be a $1 trillion opportunity, even if the chance that they succeed is, say, only 10 or 20%, because it's a very challenging problem to solve. The payoff is absolutely massive, and we think is great risk reward. Lastly, I'm only going to touch upon one other strategy, which we think is interesting, but Aladdin, being only on chain, couldn't do it, but we think it's still interesting. If you look at the dashboard of Tinlake, the DApp of Centrifuge, they have many different credit opportunities there, many different pools, which are essentially all real-world assets that are looking for financing. The yields that Centrifuge provides today, you know, is up to 10% in stable coins, and then a reward rate of roughly 12% again in CFG. So today, Centrifuge again has opportunities to make yields upwards of 20% per annum, which are completely uncorrelated to the crypto market, or not very correlated to the crypto market at all. And from our conversations so far, you know, DeFi protocols and various folks that only have assets in DeFi find this a very interesting solution to diversify a little bit away from crypto without actually having to convert back into fiat. So again, very excited about this project. We think it's great. It's an amazing project with a lot of promise, and happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, we are running out of time a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry. But what I could suggest is that you could join the next research call, and then maybe we can have you can go more into details. So this is what I would suggest if you're interested into.
Absolutely.
But it's awesome. I think you're very qualified to join us, basically. Yeah, because I want to change, you know, in the like the free part, you know, it's easy. We can stay, but I just people, some of them have calls and they have to leave. So yeah, it's up to everyone to leave now, and maybe how you could join next research call again, and then we can have you again, and then maybe you can more go into details and take questions. That's what I would suggest. And yeah, this is fine.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Time.
No, absolutely. we don't want to hold people up, and yeah, thank you for your time, and more than happy to join the next research call and go more into detail and answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you for joining and being with us. So yeah, I make like a closing statement, and then if people want to stay, we can look at our product more, and then we go yeah, we talk about the centrifuge maybe in the next on the next research call. So the closing statement is relatively short. So thank you for being our guest, and I think we have been seen two very interesting candidates, and yeah, I will hope people will vote them in and they will join us as Boule members. And then the rest is now exactly to remember you. We have like we'll have Aldin talk in 2 hours, who starts in 2 hours, who is mostly about convex and also curve, and we will have two from the community from there who will join us, and we will chat about curve, all curve and bribes and so on. This is on Twitter Space. So if you want to stay, I guess we go shortly. We will look at the concentrator stuff. What I want to add, if you have questions on concentrator, you can also look at the FAQ. And if you have any feedback, just send it to us, because the interface is very fresh. It has been executed, from idea till like working dev. It took, I guess, maybe 1.5. So again, Charlene and the dev team has been stellar in this, to deliver this. It's also audited, if you scroll down. Now in FAQ, it has a link to the audit, and yeah. So thanks.
Hey, Martin, quick question on the concentrator.
Yeah.
So
I guess I will share maybe I will share the.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. And great presentation too. Thanks to the folks who just presented. The concentrator, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. If I have a curve LP, I am going to earn higher yield through concentrator than convex because of the fact that we are periodically, I'm curious how often this is, we are periodically claiming those rewards, and then we are selling those for more CVX curve or whatever the underlying position is.
Exactly.
And
that's
then,
normally what you did by hand,
It's what you did by, yeah. So like if I'm in the Steth pool, you are selling my rewards for more Steth or more of the curve Steth LP, right? That's what we're compounding the actual like staked LP position.
Yeah. So yeah. Let me probably explain this briefly. So DeFi that when you deposit your LP into the STEPH pool, you're going to earn 3 tokens, right? CRV, CVX, and the Lido. And we're going to harvest them periodically, and we sell everything into CVX CRV. And we stake that CVX CRV with this CRV staking pool. And that pool offers 45% right now. And yeah, so for once we deposit CVX CRV into that pool, we're also going to regularly harvest from that pool, right? And so everything coming out of CVX CRV staking pool going to be sold into CVX CRV again and deposit into that again, and we'll just keep compounding that. And right now we're doing this on daily basis. So that's why we can improve the CVX CRV pool from like 45% to 55%.
Okay, right? Got it. So like in this example here, let's just using round numbers, even though none of this is real. If I deposited one curve Steth LP token, all of my yield is going to be returned to me in the form of, let's say eventually when I withdraw from concentrator, I'm withdrawing and I'm getting back a Oh, I see here. So I can actually zap out into like
Correct.
ETH curve or whatever. But the accumulating yield is in CVX curve. You have to want that yield to accumulate in CVX curve, which anyone who's in convex is normally earning CVX or curve. So they should be super happy to have that auto compounding, but not auto compounding the underlying LP. That to me would be a lot of gas, and that would be probably very costly for us to be automating.
Yeah, so basically, right, we just automate the entire process, right? And so we harvest from the underlying vaults, right, and go into the compounder, and we just keep compounding in the compounder as well. And this really we need to ramp up on TVL, because the more TVL we have, and the more frequently we can like harvest, right, the higher yields we're going to hit.
Excellent. This is so helpful too. This diagram was added since yesterday, I think. I don't remember seeing this. Yeah.
We
Yeah,
just added today. Yeah. And so everything is compounded into CVX CRV, right? But it's just is equal to CRV, and CRV just highly correlated, move together with CVX. So basically, you can get your compounded return in any of these assets. When you withdraw, you can get all of them, right, at your
Very
choice.
cool. Very cool. I'm excited for this. So that's great. So we're accumulating additional yield by continually selling rewards for CVX curve, which is popularly staked to earn about 40-50% over the last like several months. So yeah, this is great, guys. Thank you so much. I'm crystal clear now on it.
Yeah, so this just help people who want to accumulate CRV or CVX, right? And earn, just basically sell everything into your underlying assets. But what we do here is a farm and hold, and we help people, to earn more CRV or CVX. And in a few weeks' time, we're going to launch another product to help automate the convex bribery process, and help people to maximize their CVX token earned through the bribery process as well.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's if you understand, it's a relatively like simple product, and I guess this is like the right thing to do in this market environment, that you make a product who people use and want to have. And it looks like we found like a gap in this curve convex environment, and looking forward to see more TVL basically. And
Yep.
yeah, we're launching this today, but officially we're going to tweet about this now, I guess, and then make it more official. And then if you help us to get more exposure, it would help us. I don't know if there are more questions. Yeah, I think we close it here, because then there are no questions also. Oh, okay, my browser did die, just die, looks like. And then there's a nice animation, if you scroll it down. I didn't check it out on mobile, but on desktop it's a nice, yeah, it's nice. It's like a little extra. Okay, so we're closing this. See you in 2 hours. You have the Twitter space, and if you want to join, and thank you for joining. So next research call, we will have another candidate, and also invite like the Monaich and the Younger to join again, and then maybe we can take some question about the centrifuge. So have a nice day.
Perfect.
Bye.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, bye.